Hello, and welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I'm Chris Radtke, crawling out of Grandpa's dirty old mystery box.
Right, welcome back, Chris.
Hey, it's nice to be back.
It is, because we're on the Falcon. We're in minute 8 of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. And it starts with Chewie carefully contemplating his next move, and it ends with Boolio laying cable, just dropping some wires into the Falcon there.
Boolio.
Boolio.
Hey, it's me, Boolio.
Before we get to, I got 2 aliens to talk about that I'm super excited about.
Oh, these 2 dopes.
But first, we do get the culmination of the chess scene,
Chess comedy,
the Dejaric scene from earlier.
Do you guys have any games that you play that the game itself is decades and decades years old? Because that Dejaric table is antique at this point.
Yeah.
I have I have our family's Monopoly game that was an original edition of Monopoly.
Ooh.
Every time I watch them playing Dejaric, I think about, like, does anyone want to play some original Monopoly?
Wait, original from like the 30s?
Well, in the 50s. It was my mom's Monopoly board.
Oh,
so it was
wow.
an
So it's still
original.
pretty old,
I don't
yeah.
know. But it was really, and it's
a vintage,
or 60s or what, I don't know. I don't really
Yeah.
It's just old.
Whatever.
I remember as a kid being like, oh, this is really old and not from my time.
I'm trying to reach the. Wait, hang on. Let me stand up for a second.
I do not have any. We moved several times, and that usually requires a paring down of
Now,
of games.
these aren't my ones of these. They haven't been handed down, but I've been kind of recollecting them. But right next to me, I've got a handful of the Star Wars. There's the Adventures of R2-D2 game.
Oh, I've never seen that before.
Did
you get the Death Star Escape game?
Yoda, Jedi Master Yoda game.
What?
The
I've never
Yoda,
seen
the
these.
game.
I mean, that was one
like-
that was one part of Star Wars merchandise that, like, I was not chasing after. Like, don't give me action figures. If you get me Star Wars something and it's not an action figure, what are you doing? But go on.
Garbage.
I didn't have either of those growing up. I've come into them later in life. I've been collecting them, but the Yoda game was almost impenetrable. The rules are difficult. So,
You have to unlearn what you learned.
wants to, we'll turn this into a different board game show at some point. Maybe if anybody wants to watch us play board games, let us know. But I do also have a.
That's the game. My cousin Ricky had that, and I played a lot of that. And I loved the Han Solo and Chewbacca illustration on the piece.
Yeah. The illustrations
so
on all these
cool.
are great.
Oh my god, I love that game.
Not pictured. I think it's downstairs because it was recently played. Was the Destroy Death Star game, which comes with a little, like, the big board with the Death Star on it and the little.
I remember
tiny
the
X-wing
ads for
pieces.
it, but I've never seen it in real life.
But yes, vintage Star Wars board games.
That's
Love
what they should have been playing at the beginning. They should have been
Oh my
playing
God.
the Death Star game.
Totally.
Do you think there are any games in the Star Wars universe based on? Because like they're all celebrities in the Star Wars universe. So is there a Han Solo card game in the Star Wars universe?
Yes, but it's not Sabag.
Yeah,
It's
licensed.
a
Han Solo licensed his
card
images.
game. Right.
Yeah.
There's the destruction of the Death Star is a Axis and Allies type game that is so difficult and comes with so many little pieces.
Yeah.
Right. Takes a full day of setup.
Right.
Yeah.
And on Hosnian
20 years
9,
to set up.
like when
half an hour
when
to destroy.
Hosnian 9's light, like, sky lit up, there was a apartment full of Star Wars dorks playing the Battle of Yavin 4 tabletop game.
They had just finished setting everything up, and they're like, okay, who goes first? And then boom, the planet explodes.
And then fast forward to when Rey is teaching teenage Grogu about the Force. he and his Jedi teenagers, they're a bunch of nerds, and they're playing the triple-sized, tabletop game of the Destruction of Hosnian 9 game. And it's
they did the Kickstarter for it.
That they did the Kickstarter for it. That is like Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
So, I love it.
Well, let's talk about
possibilities are endless. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so that they do say, first they were teasing Chewbacca because they're like, you're cheating. It's like, no, of course not. You're 250 years old. Of course you're better than us.
Yeah. Poe says it's because you're 250 years old. Finn says it's because you're cheating. So I think
first they say,
right.
But then they're like, no, of course, no, you're not cheating. And then
And then Chewbacca's like, it's because I'm a Wookiee,
as soon as
right?
he gets up, as soon as he leaves the room, they're like, yeah, he's cheating. Of course he's cheating.
Yeah.
Do you think Chewbacca's a cheater?
Well, I mean, it's home. It's basically his home set. You know what I mean?
But that's not cheating. I mean, it's not like he went into it. But he didn't go into it.
Or is Chewbacca all this is just when he's playing when we've seen him play in history, we know Chewbacca he's a terrible sport. So to your pretzel logic, Pete, of why this movie is good, of course he's cheating because we've seen that Chewbacca is a petulant child when it comes to game night.
Yeah.
So they're letting him win, you're saying?
No, he just might be,
No, he's flat out cheating, like a 5-year-old would cheat.
He's playing. Yeah. Inventing new rules as he goes. Oh, yeah, there's a house rule on the Falcon. I don't know if you know that, but that means that this gets 2 moves.
It would be great if there was some rebel guy who had no arms and you found out it was because he beat Chewbacca in chess, and that's why Chewbacca pulled his arms off, and he's... Yeah.
Twice.
But then, once that happens, then you can just keep playing and beating him.
I am surprised J.J. Abrams did not have him play against an alien who had detachable arms, and that you had Chewbacca being like, pop his arms off, and the alien being like, oh, it's a living, and he puts it back on.
Yeah, or they would just grow back immediately out of his...
Play again?
I love it. Now, I also just thought of Chewbacca playing Sabacc against Chef Gourmand. So she's got all the extra arms.
That has definitely happened. There is that has happened on more than one occasion.
But she's as of the holiday special, it seems like she's more famous than he is. So maybe by the time,
by now,
after the Battle of Yavin, and then after a couple of other things, by the time.
When Chewbacca does get to play, it's like, oh, I'm such a big fan.
Right? Yeah. He doesn't want to beat her at it because he's being respectful and doesn't want to make her look bad because he's. Well, my wife loves your show. She watches it all the time.
I hope the next time we see Chewbacca, he's not even on the Falcon anymore. He's like the mayor of Kashyyyk or something like that. You know what I mean? Like he's probably the most famous Wookiee.
So
Oh, can I show you guys a lovely gift that a dear friend of mine got me recently on a trip to Black Spire Outpost? I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. Well, this is
awkward.
Where, while he's getting that, I will say this was where I had my note for nostalgia/fan service.
Right.
But we talked about it yesterday. But yes, I do. I like this scene.
We are inching our way to Harvey Korman being canon, man. Look at we are inching our way.
Yeah.
Look at this beautiful mug. And it's got...
I don't have my...
Did you say you're itching your way?
It's itching its way. That's pretty good.
Lumping and itching our way towards...
Lumpily itching our way.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. You know what? You bought it. You do what you want with it.
Yeah.
Amazing how much they've leaned into Life Day the last 2 years.
And this fella, look at him. That is a great look for Chewbacca.
For those of you not watching the YouTube video, which you should be, StarWarsMinute.com/YouTube.
I'm so sorry. I forgot about that.
Mug. No, it's all right. It's Chris is holding up a mug.
Let me describe it. This is...
Yeah, go ahead. Describe it to the audience.
My dear friend, El Tigro X, brought this back for me from a trip to Black Spire Outpost. It is a space coffee mug. It is a wide brim. It's
Calf. What do they call it? Calf?
It's a calf. And it's a calf mug, tankard, and it's got some girth to it. On the inside, so when you're drinking the mug, it says family, joy, harmony, which are the tenets of Life Day. And then on the front, you have Chewbacca in his Life Day gown with his Life Day orb.
Snuggie.
And on the back, in relief, is the Starbucks logo. Apparently, this is the Starbucks calf.
What is behind Chewbacca? Is that his
That
house?
is the Millennium Falcon at Black Spire. You know, they gotta show it.
Yeah.
Those are like flies buzzing around him?
No, that's just the glory of Life Day. But it really is it's a. And what's funny is when my friend bought it, he knew what it was, but no one else. They have a bunch of like Life Day inspired merchandise.
Yeah.
And all of it is there. It's all peg warmers. And he goes up to the clerk and he's like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." She's like, "Oh, please buy 2 or 3 because nobody is buying these things." So there will be a landfill filled with these someday.
Nice. Each one, we're going to stick an ET Atari cartridge inside each one. And
I'm going to put this on the shelf with my Burger King glasses. All right. So I derailed us.
Speaking of useless garbage, let's talk about Claude.
Yeah, Claude. I was so excited to see Claude. I forgot that he showed up this early in the movie. Yeah, God, I love Claude because he's so like he makes no sense, and that's what I love. It's goofy, and they just run. Now, Claude, for those of you who don't know, Claude looks like a giant like slug, essentially.
With a cartoon goofy slug. He looks like a cartoon slug.
Like a cartoon slug. And he's actually a trototome. A male trototome. Mama, don't take my trototome.
I was going to say.
And he was apparently picked up. There was a case of mistaken identity.
Wait, you're talking about the character now? Okay, go ahead.
The character, was apparently picked up like picked up for something else. And he had no clue what was going on, and they couldn't understand him. So they grabbed the wrong person. They bring it like, no, this guy's useless. He won't help. But then they figured out he's pretty good at fixing stuff, and so they kept him around the Resistance. And on this mission in particular, Poe was like, "All right, we're gonna go do this thing. I want Finn and Rey. I want my gang." And they're like, "Wait." Leia was like, "No, Rey's doing training with me. You can't have Rey. You can have Claude." And he was like, "Are you kidding me?" And then but she made him take Claude. And so that's why he's there, and that's why Poe is just kind of like, all right, I hope you fix that. I forgot exactly what he asks if he fixed, but not a compressor, but something like that. He asks him if he fixed that because they don't speak Claude's language. They don't speak trototome. And so he just said, "Hey, while you're here, just can you fix that?" And Claude just kind of went to work on it. And so he's just like, "Hey, I hope you fix that thing," because he doesn't know. He's not been getting updates. Claude is just there. And this is exactly like I love this. I love goofy aliens being in here. He's like, we all know I love Yarrow Poof. I love Ishi Tib. I love these kind of weird goofy aliens, and Claude totally is in one of those.
I will not disparage Claude, but it's hard for me to get behind him because
he's so big.
No,
you walk around.
Really...
No, it's just like because it's JJ trying too hard. And
see, much of what people don't like about this movie, I think, is stuff that they bring with them. It's like the magic cave of movies.
Yeah, so it's him trying too hard, and then I really do want to see, and I do. I give George Lucas, more of a wider berth, because why is Claude any different than Dexter Jettster? And he's not. And I think they both. So that's where I'm like, just my resentment towards J.J. Abrams really prevents me from enjoying this movie. I had to talk to my therapist about this. Hey, I sound like an 80s movie.
Despite what I said before, I am not actually anti-Claude. I'm kind of neutral on him. I think he's a weird, just kind of a weird character. I'm glad they don't I guess he does show up a bit in this segment, but other than this one segment, it's not like he's a permanent guest. He's not a permanent resident of the Falcon.
He's not funny enough, or he's not cool enough. And
I think that's part of I don't want him to be featured. I don't want him to be a background, walk by him and he was there. Again, like I said, is she too?
No, but he's too noticeable. Like that's what I mean by he's trying too hard. He's not an Ishi Tib. He is not. He is no. You, sir, are no Ishi Tib. You are. It's not. Absolutely. He is not Amanaman. And that's what he's trying to be.
Like that.
He's trying
he's
to
like
be.
Amanaman.
No, but you know what he is? He's a poor man's Amanaman.
Poor man. Well,
poor man's. What is that? What was that? Rich man, poor man. Rich Amanaman, poor Amanaman.
He gets name checked, which, unlike Ishi Tib and Amanaman and all that stuff, that sets him apart.
Right, and I want to know who is
very
Claude.
Few aliens get name checked.
Right,
in Star
is that
Wars.
JJ's dog? Is that his buddy? Who is Claude in JJ's world where JJ's like, look, Claude, I put you in the movie, Claude. You're in a Star Wars movie, just like the Beastie Boys and my dumb friend over here. What's his face?
Greg Grunberg. One thing that did impress me about Claude is I assumed that this was like a CGI monstrosity, but it's actually an animatronic suit with a person in it. And that to me, I was like, wow. Right. So that it feels like they're just kind of like, wow, that's so cool. You know what? Let's put him in the background here. And then it's,
which is just, again, how
everybody loves Claude. People loves Claude. We should let's build Claude out as animatronic, but only use him in this one scene.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but he's a background character. He's only meant for this. It's like, again, all the stuff for Return of the Jedi, all the stuff for all these other things.
Self-serving.
It's exactly the stuff that we have in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know about the Claude meme?
I'm too old for that. I'm sorry. I wish I did though.
He'll come up later, but we have to basically come back to it during the scene. But Claude is also the star of a meme. The internet, later, there's a scene that features Claude reacting to something, and then that's become a thing. Like cutting to Claude's reaction cutting to Claude reacting is a common internet joke now.
How do you
Claude,
how do you spell
Claude? We can't bring him up without talking. Claud.
Yeah,
Claude.
I wouldn't say common necessarily, but.
Well, it's a thing.
Oh, I've seen that. It is a thing.
Right. Yeah. See? But we'll get to that scene when we talk about it. But Claude, most people might know Claude as a meme, maybe more than a character in this movie, which he is. So I love Claude. I love Claude being here.
I don't understand how he fixes things, having no visible limbs or anything like that. But like I said, I'll have to read the expanded universe stuff to find out.
You got to read the Claude, spinoff.
The Claude miniseries. Yeah. Anything else about Claude? Yeah, because we find out that they're arriving on Iceberg 7 or whatever the name of the planet is.
It's the Cinta glacier colony.
Yeah.
Cinta glacier
I really
colony.
like the look of that ice. It reminds me, it's very Flash Gordon that it doesn't make any sense physically, but it is a cool looking visual of these that iceberg kind of stations. So points for that.
Yeah.
I will take away points for what I think is probably so they are arriving at the station or whatever, and they all go up to the front, and for some reason now suddenly everything's like smoke and everything is shooting out, barrels are rolling across. I feel like it's trying to create tension that something's going on, let's make sure we have some explosions going on and stuff. But then the part I think is kind of goofy is Finn runs back, avoids getting hit by a barrel, sees R2-D2 and goes, R2! And then he just runs past him. I don't know why he says R2. It's almost like you're trying to clue the audience in, see, there he is, R2. So anyway, that I just thought was so goofy.
Well, I'm totally, this is settling into my position as the guy who is going to try to explain everything to try to make it make sense for this movie. I'm going to be this movie's, DA. Okay. But not Magnum DA, but
It's Tia.
The I know. But he's getting R2. He's like R2, and basically R2 because he wants R2 to go with him because he's going over to the hatch.
He's calling him
as we see in the next
okay.
thing. Boolio is going to throw a cable down. They're going to plug it into R2 and load the information onto there because they didn't want to broadcast this information because they're worried about it being intercepted.
Yeah. I know that part,
Yeah, so he's saying R2, like basically come with me.
Okay. All right. I'll go along with that.
But it also serves the purpose of giving him a little like scene because, it's one of the characters that we love from the old stuff to give him a little.
Yeah. And he has been, we'll see how it goes in this movie, but to me, he was criminally underused in episode 1, in episode 7. And then he had a good shining moment in episode 8 with the whole hologram projection of Princess Leia. But other than that, R2's been very,
underused.
He's been very off the radar in the sequel. So,
I mean,
BB-8 and then Dio, everyone's up, it's always the hot new thing.
Well, we'll get there.
Anyway, but then we get another week. So yes, he opens the hatch and he sees a new character above him.
Yes, Boolio. Should we say Boolio for tomorrow? Because Boolio.
Yeah, Boolio's tomorrow.
I mean, well, he shows up in this minute. We meet him now.
Let's introduce Boolio. Who is he?
Well, basically, they've gotten I'll just talk about kind of
in universe
within the narrative. They've gotten Boolio works at this mining colony and has given them a tip. It's like, hey, I've got some information. Come get it because I don't want it to be. We don't want to broadcast it. It's too sensitive. So come pick up this information.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're going to do that. They open up. Boolio opens up the hatch and is like, okay, great, and throws them the cable. And then we'll sit on that and come back to it for tomorrow. We'll talk fully about the action on the Cinta Glacier colony.
I wrote down that I like that we get to see the Falcon top hatch again.
Yes.
But then I was wondering, is this does this make me a hypocrite? Am I basically saying, oh, I don't like when they call back to other stuff. Oh, but when they show the Falcon hatch opening, that's the thing I like to see. So therefore, that's totally cool. I don't know how to reconcile those two thoughts. I'm not going to.
It's as long as it makes sense within the narrative, within the story.
Right. Yeah. All right.
Well, they had to, they're getting something from, somebody's going to drop a pipe in there. Let's leave the hatch open. Somebody's going to drop a pipe in there.
You're going to get a pipe.
Might as well be Boolio.
So makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they just oh, what does this button do? And it opened up the hatch and they're like, womp womp. And then you're like,
Boolio.
But yeah, so let's table our Boolio talk for tomorrow.
Okay.
And Chris, can you come back tomorrow?
Yeah, you'll see me and Boolio down by the schoolyard tomorrow.
Then we know where to find them. And hey, everybody, you know where to find us if you're looking for merchandise. If you want to find, I've already had a couple of ideas for this season, maybe. So let's. There could be some new, fresh, updated season 11 material up there.
You guys
got to come up with a
merch.
Claude. We got to come up with some Claude merch.
Yeah, so we got to get some Claude merch up there. Maybe a little Boolio action.
Claude, you devil. How about that? Think about it.
Excellent. Print it. Get to work. Well, so check us out if you want to find all that stuff on t-shirts, mugs, etc., skateboards. Go to StarWarsMinute.com/merch, MERCH merch, and that'll get you to our merch store. Most of the stuff is on our Threadless store right now. A couple of things are lingering still on TeePublic, but we've moved almost all of it over to Threadless. Go check it out. Order some stuff. Buy some stuff, will you?
Hey! Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Claude. Let's go.
And we will all be back tomorrow for a brand new episode
Star Wars Minute
of Star Wars Minute.